What if the deepest secrets you hold aren't weaknesses to be overcome, but powerful sources of your untold strength? In a world that demands complete transparency, imagine cultivating an inner sanctuary, a hidden wellspring of peace and purpose. Discover how mastering the art of sacred discretion can transform your life, elevating your dignity, enhancing your confidence, and amplifying your divine power. My dearest friends, allow me to share a profound truth that has the power to fundamentally transform the way you navigate your life. There are three essential things, just three, that a woman, especially a woman of God, should never fully reveal to anyone. Not to her closest confidant, not to her family, and perhaps most surprisingly, not even to the one she loves most. In this world, the very instant she exposes these sacred aspects of herself, she inadvertently places a significant portion of her inherent strength into the hands of others. We live in an era consumed by an insatiable desire for complete openness and immediate sharing. People are eager to parade every fleeting thought, every inner struggle, every deeply held secret, under the misguided belief that this raw, unfiltered transparency equates to genuine power. Yet, ancient wisdom, and indeed divine wisdom, gently guides us towards a different path. True power, my friends, is not found in what you readily give away, but in what you carefully, judiciously, and strategically protect. A woman who intimately understands the profound art of sacred discretion walks not only with dignity, but with an unshakable confidence and an undeniable divine strength that radiates from within. Today, I am going to unveil what these three invaluable treasures are, and I assure you, once you hear them, your perspective on life, on vulnerability, and on personal power will be irrevocably altered. Remain with me until the very end of this message, because by its conclusion, you will possess a unique kind of wisdom, a wisdom so deeply rooted and profoundly true that it cannot be shaken by the fleeting whims of the world. A woman's profound pain is sacred. It is not, under any circumstance, meant to be paraded openly before those who only wish to indulge in pity, or worse, to ruthlessly weaponize it against her. When you unwisely speak of your deepest anguish, your most profound wounds, or your most devastating disappointments to the wrong individuals, they will, inevitably, utilize that information to perpetually remind you of your past, to undermine your present efforts, and to subtly or overtly hinder you every single time you bravely attempt to rise above it. Some wounds, my friends, are profoundly meant to be healed in the tender embrace of silence. Some battles, those of the heart and soul, are meant to be valiantly fought in the quiet solitude of your own spirit, with only God as your steadfast witness and valiant ally. There are, regrettably, formidable forces in this world that actively work against the progress, the healing, and the blossoming of truly remarkable women. There are individuals who will present a smiling facade, offering seemingly sympathetic ears, yet secretly harboring malicious intentions. These are the ones who thrive on gossip, who revel in the misfortunes of others, and who, regrettably, find a perverse satisfaction in seeing someone remain trapped in their pain rather than witnessing their triumphant ascent. Therefore, a wise woman, a woman who truly understands her worth and the sanctity of her inner world, comprehends the immense power of her personal narrative. She knows that every word spoken, every tear shed, every vulnerability exposed carries profound weight. She understands that not every individual possesses the wisdom to handle her deepest wounds with the reverence and care they inherently deserve. When a woman chooses to guard her pain, she is not being secretive or emotionally repressed. She is being profoundly discerning. She is protecting her healing process, nurturing her spirit, and creating a sacred space for genuine restoration. She realizes that the most profound healing often takes place in quiet introspection, in prayer, and in trusting God with the very depths of her suffering. It is in this guarded sanctuary that she finds the courage to truly forgive, to profoundly release, and to ultimately transform her pain into an undeniable wellspring of strength and empathy. Her past experiences, her deepest wounds, these are not weaknesses to be publicly displayed. They are sacred testimonies of her resilience, her unwavering faith, and God's immense power to bring profound beauty from the ashes of her life. By carefully guarding her pain, she refuses to give anyone the power to manipulate her emotions, to remind her of past failures, or to use her vulnerabilities against her. Instead, she maintains absolute control over her own narrative, allowing her story to be told when and if she chooses on her own terms, and with the wisdom of a woman who has not just survived, but profoundly triumphed over adversity. Beyond the sacredness of her pain, a woman should also fiercely guard her grandest dreams and her most ambitious aspirations. In an age saturated with social media and constant external validation, there is an overwhelming temptation to broadcast every budding idea, every burgeoning ambition, every magnificent vision the moment it takes root in her heart. However, wisdom dictates a different, more powerful approach. Your dreams, my friends, especially the most profound and audacious ones, are like delicate seedlings. They require a period of tender nurturing, quiet growth, and careful protection before they are ready to withstand the harsh scrutiny of the world. When you prematurely expose your deepest dreams and highest aspirations to everyone, you invite a myriad of potential pitfalls. Some individuals, sadly, will respond with doubt, with cynicism, or with subtle discouragement, pouring cold water on the fervent flames of your enthusiasm. They may, consciously or unconsciously, project their own limitations, their own fears, or their own unfulfilled ambitions onto your nascent hopes. Others, perhaps with less malicious intent but still harmful in their effect, might offer unsolicited advice, overwhelming you with opinions that distract from your true path or cause you to question the very core of your vision. And then, there are those who, upon hearing your grand dreams, might even harbor envy or a subtle competitive spirit, inadvertently creating obstacles or attempting to undermine your progress in ways you might not even perceive. A wise woman understands that true visionaries often move in a realm of quiet intentionality. She knows that the most impactful achievements are often forged in the unseen, in the diligent work performed away from the public eye. She cultivates her dreams in a sacred space, sharing them only with a select few, perhaps a trusted mentor, a spiritual advisor, or a genuinely supportive inner circle, individuals who truly believe in her potential and are committed to her success. This deliberate safeguarding allows her dreams to mature, to solidify, and to gain the necessary strength before they are unleashed upon the world. It provides her with the invaluable time and space to develop her strategies, to refine her skills, and to build the unshakable foundation required for her vision to truly flourish. By guarding her dreams, she protects herself from the negative energy of naysayers, the destructive power of premature judgment, and the subtle sabotage of ill-intentioned individuals. She retains absolute control over her narrative, allowing her dreams to blossom in their own divine timing, propelled by her unwavering faith and diligent effort, rather than being swayed by the fluctuating opinions of the crowd. Her dreams are not for public consumption or fleeting validation. They are potent seeds of her divine purpose, meant to be nurtured in the fertile ground of her heart until God Himself declares them ready to manifest in the world. Finally, and perhaps most critically, a woman should always guard the sanctity of her spiritual walk and her intimate relationship with God. In a world obsessed with public displays of faith and the performative aspects of spirituality, there is a profound temptation to share every prayer, every revelation, every spiritual milestone on social media, seeking affirmation or recognition from others. However, the most profound and transformative aspects of your spiritual journey are often meant for God's ears alone. Your spiritual walk is a sacred conversation between your soul and its Creator. It is a deeply personal journey of faith, of doubt, of surrender, and of ultimate transformation. When you expose the intimate details of this journey to those who may not truly understand, who may judge, or who may even mock, you risk diluting its power, inviting external interference into a space meant solely for divine connection. A wise woman knows that true spirituality is not about outward display, but about inner depth. It is not about proving her faith to others, but about cultivating a genuine, vibrant relationship with God in the secret place of her heart. She understands that genuine spiritual growth often occurs in the quiet moments of prayer, in solitary reflection on God's word, and in the private battles fought on her knees. This guarding of her spiritual walk does not imply secrecy or hypocrisy. Rather, it signifies profound reverence. It means reserving the most sacred conversations, the deepest revelations, and the tenderest moments of divine communion for the only one who can truly comprehend them, her Heavenly Father. By protecting this intimate space, she shields herself from the opinions of those who might try to measure her faith by their own standards, who might offer unsolicited spiritual advice that deviates from God's true path for her, or who might inadvertently cause her to compare her journey to others, leading to either pride or despair. Her spiritual walk is her lifeline, her anchor, and her ultimate source of peace and strength. It is too precious to be exposed to casual scrutiny or to be used as a means for external validation. It is a wellspring that should be jealously guarded, allowing its waters to flow freely only within the sacred confines of her direct relationship with God. When she preserves this sacred space, she ensures that her faith remains pure, authentic, and unadulterated by the world's influences. She finds her deepest satisfaction not in human applause, but in the knowing smile of her Creator, in the profound peace that transcends all understanding, and in the quiet assurance that she is walking intimately with the one who holds her entire being in his loving hands. Therefore, my cherished friends, let me reiterate this liberating truth. A woman who understands the profound wisdom of guarding these three sacred aspects of her life, her pain, her dreams, and her spiritual journey, is not a woman who is cold, secretive, or weak. On the contrary, she is a woman of immense wisdom, unparalleled strength, and undeniable dignity. She recognizes the invaluable power of mystery, the profound eloquence of silence, and the absolute necessity of preservation. Her heart, her most fervent dreams, her deepest struggles, these are not destined for the careless hands of the world to idly toy with, to dissect, or to diminish. They are, in fact, priceless treasures, meticulously designed to be guarded with discerning wisdom and generously offered only to those who have unequivocally proven themselves worthy of such sacred trust. She must inherently recognize that not every ear that listens harbors good intentions. Not every individual who hears her innermost thoughts will faithfully protect them, and regrettably not every heart she dares to trust will ultimately keep its solemn promises. By mastering this profound art of sacred discretion, she gains absolute unyielding control over her own life, her emotional well-being, and the unfolding trajectory of her future. She learns deeply and intrinsically that silence, far from being an absence, can be infinitely more potent and articulate than speech. She understands that true trust is not a given, but must be painstakingly earned, brick by precious brick. And she realizes with profound clarity that genuine strength often resides not in what is overtly displayed, but in what remains beautifully, powerfully, and strategically unseen. A woman who embodies this profound understanding does not desperately seek validation from the clamoring crowd. She does not live her life in a perpetual quest to be completely understood by every single person she encounters, nor does she harbor any irrational fear of being misunderstood. Instead, she walks through life with an unshakable, quiet confidence, knowing with every fiber of her being that her inner peace is far too precious to be disturbed by external noise or fleeting opinions. Her dreams are too exquisitely delicate, too profoundly sacred, to be prematurely exposed to the harsh elements of judgment and cynicism, and her struggles, those deep personal battles, are far too sacred to be casually shared with those who do not genuinely deserve the honor of hearing them, or who lack the capacity to offer true empathy and support. She is not weak for bravely choosing silence. She is, in fact, profoundly wise. She is not cold for meticulously guarding her heart. She is, unequivocally, powerfully strong. So to every woman listening to these words, hear this call to action. Fiercely protect your peace. Diligently guard your most cherished dreams. Hold your heart close, safeguarding its precious vulnerabilities. Speak when it is undeniably necessary, when your words can bring light, truth, or healing. But above all, know, deep within your soul, that silence is, often, the most resonant and impactful statement you can ever make. Move with unwavering wisdom, live with profound dignity, and never, ever forget that the most powerful, the most magnificent, and the most transformative aspects of who you truly are the very ones the world will never fully, truly see.